WHDD presents Susan Says.
So many issues, so little time. I am one of the few who thinks it's better that John Bolton's book comes out now because had it been during impeachment, nothing would have gotten through those Senate repugs anyway. Now it might influence the election. He's not telling us anything new, but these details. We have a crook, a selfish, narcissistic dictator wannabe asking China to help him win. The cabinet around him traded notes about what an idiot he is, yet they didn't resign or do anything. Oh, well. I won't buy this book, but I will buy the book of deranged Donnie's niece, Mary. That has all kinds of inside family stuff, I'm sure, like how he tried to take money away from a nephew with cerebral palsy because he could. Moving on, the killing of Mr. Brooks in Atlanta. I've watched many times the videos. It's so awful because they obviously were talking like normal humans, but then he resisted. And I see now, Van Jones released a documentary. He resisted in an interview because he was on parole and he was afraid and very poignant to go back to jail. He couldn't do it. How hard it was to be an ex-con and then get your life going again. That explains his running, I guess, but he did fire a taser. The argument of whether that's a legal weapon, it changes per state. That's ridiculous. There has to be a federal rule. Moreover, I do think they have overcharged the officer. 11 counts, death penalty? No. Just because a car was there and he shot a bullet, there's other things to charge, I'm sure. And the second officer says he is going to testify, he's not going to testify. What a mess. Tulsa. Hasn't Tulsa suffered enough? I never knew anything about Juneteenth. How awful. A slaughter in history, and no one taught about it. The Wall Street of the African American community, a wealthy, thriving place destroyed. And now there's a lot of COVID there. And the ugliest virus, deranged Donnie, is bringing all the maggots there to rally for what? His ego? And to poke Black Americans in the eye? Well, you'll be killing your own voters, but you don't care about that, do you? The last press statement was so nuts. He was totally insane, rambling as usual, bragging about money when it was supposed to be about changes in policing, repetition, bodily jerks, which doctors say is a neurological brain damage. The Lincoln Project. Former Republican political operatives, they do the best anti-Trump commercials. They go for the jugular. Dems should learn. It's Kellyanne Conway's husband. That is the weirdest relationship ever, and her new face looks pretty good, I have to admit. Steve Schmidt, I love him. They did a Zoom conference. I tuned into it. They feel the future of the Republican Party is all about how badly deranged Donnie loses by. It has to be huge, or those gutless repubs will continue as they have been. So come on, people, vote. I tried to escape and watch the show Quiz, about how an English couple stole £1 million by having an expert in the audience cough when the contestant was pondering out loud. It's fun. I wanted to watch the Pete Davidson movie, but I am not paying $19.95 for any movie. Well, unless Idris Elba comes to my house and acts it out personally. Sigh. Bye-bye for now.
Susan Silver was one of the original writers of such TV classics as The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Maude Bob Newhart. She lectures and teaches sitcom writing and had a column on the New York Social Diary called The Search for Mr. Adequate. She hasn't found him yet. Appearing on TV and radio often, she expresses her views on life and opinions on everything.